Agra Expressway. As Nehesh was pointing out, this is a huge exercise. This is a very big exercise that we're looking at, because this essentially ensures that we reduce the reliability on conventional airstrips.
We must make it very clear and not get too carried away in the sense that this is developing of our operational capability in contingency. The objective of landing on roads like this is that in case you take off from a base and that base gets stacked and the airfield becomes redundant, then the coming back aircraft to land somewhere. The first priority will of course be to every airfield that might be available. But this is a contingency that if there is nothing else available, they should be able to land on these kind of strips. So therefore, it becomes imperative that we get this capability in terms of training, in terms of skill levels of the pilots, in terms of maintenance activity, and most importantly, in identifying the kind of highways that will be available for this. Please remember that a normal highway does not have that much of a load factor. That means you don't have aircraft landing there, so the load factor on these highways is very little compared to what the runway you have. So therefore, it is important to identify such strips that you might get on very important national highways, where you have strips at least 3 to 4 kilometers of length and at least 150 feet in width, and where the shoulders on both sides will be another 100 feet. Because if an aircraft goes out of the runway due to slippage or tire burst or any kind of contingency, then we must not have an obstruction on the shoulders. It is also imperative to ensure that the landing area, that means the landing and approach, is clear of any obstructions. No high trees, no high obstacles in terms of water tanks or in terms of habitation. So all in all, this is towards developing a capability which will be required during a contingency, and very importantly, fighter aircraft which come at much higher speed and which also take off at much higher speed, which are more vulnerable in terms of flight safety. So the training for the pilots during this period is also very, very crucial.
And Air Marshal Ahluwalia, you get a sense from these visuals. Of course, our pilots make it look very simple and very graceful, the way you see these aircraft almost grazing that expressway and taking off. But there are a number of challenges. It's not as easy as it seems on these visuals, is it?
No, it is like I explained, that the first problem is the landing surface, what we call a load carrying number, which means that the surface has to be strong enough to face the impact. That means take all the weight of the aircraft on the 3 wheels that it has got, or firstly 2 wheels, and not crumble. So therefore it is very crucial to have, like for instance in Sweden and Scandinavian countries, what they do over there is they build the roads right from the beginning to have the strength to be able to take on aircraft. So all in all, it is a question of having the right kind of strip, having the length of the strip at least 3 to 4 kilometers, having the shoulders clean, having the width at least 150 feet, having the obstacles in the landing area clean, and most importantly, to be able to handle the aircraft at low speed, at high angle of attack. The skill level of the pilot comes into play. Especially for fighter aircraft, a 3130 is not an issue. For a transport aircraft, that caliber is not an issue. Technology plays a very important part. Like for instance, the Mirage 2000 will find it much easier to land under these circumstances than a MiG-21 or a 23 or a 27, because the cockpit ergonomics of the Mirage 2000 are conducive for safe landings and takeoffs, and to support the pilot in landing safely and taking off safely.
And Marshal, when we played out those visuals, I think what was the most significant, and possibly that is the biggest accomplishment, the fact that, the Air Force's massive C-130J, that Super Hercules transport aircraft, it's huge. And they've managed to successfully ensure that that too landed in the Lucknow-Agra Expressway.
Undoubtedly, the C-130,
All right, we seem to have lost that connection with Air Marshal P.S. Ahluwalia. We'll get back to him in just a bit. Snehesh, if you're with us, this is a very, very significant operation. As, Air Marshal Ahluwalia was breaking it down for us. There are a number of challenges that are faced. This obviously is not going to be possible in every single highway, but no doubt this is a very, very significant operation. For our viewers, give us a sense of why this is so important. This is also the first of its kind operation, right?
Yes, absolutely. As the Air Marshal points out, this is a very significant exercise, and the primary aim of this exercise is to ensure that in case of a war, in case of any issue, the aircrafts, instead of landing at the airstrips, would actually land at the highway itself. Now, why would an aircraft land at the highway in case of war? It's primarily because if the air bases, from where they are flown, are knocked out by the enemy forces or by natural disaster, the pilots need some place to land. And that is the primary reason, the thinking that has gone behind the Air Force planning to convert, to use expressways that have been constructed across the country into such airstrips. So right now the IAF has gone ahead and identified some of the airstrips, some of the expressways that could actually be used as a landing post. And in 2015 is when they did the first exercise. This is the second exercise. This is a massive one. This is for the first time that an aircraft, the C-130J Super Hercules, has actually landed on the highway. Now, other 19 aircraft, including the Su-30 MKI, the Jaguar Deep Penetration Strike aircraft, and the Mirage 2000, have done a touch and go, exercise to see, how the whole process, how the whole landing process can take place in case if they're not able to land at the
Right. Snehesh, stay with us. Also joining us on the broadcast now is Air Marshal Falihomi Major. Air Marshal, very, very, this is a spectacle to really watch right now on our screens as the might of the IAF, grazes that expressway in Lucknow, Agra. Give us a sense of the significance of this operation, sir, because, what this essentially tests is the preparedness of the IAF to get rid of the conventional airstrips in times of war, to also be able to use certain highways and expressways to double them up as airstrips.
A demonstration of the skill levels, the capability, and the capability of assault operations of the Indian Air Force. What we must understand is these are not regular operations, but one-off operations under contingencies which compel us to undertake these operations. Most important thing I see here is the pilots of any aircraft which you see flying today are not landing on airfields which have navigational and landing aids as is common in most airfields. Also, these kind of operations are very, very essential under trying circumstances where an airfield is immobilized for some reason, where you need to infiltrate and exfiltrate special operations troops from areas which do not have airfields. It also demonstrates the sturdiness and reliability of the platforms which the Indian Air Force has. Also, we must understand that these operations are undertaken for special reasons when we find that your normal airfields are not available. Most importantly, this is an excellent demonstration to the people of our country and outside that your Air Force today is capable of undertaking operations from such areas. This should also be a lesson for jointmanship not only amongst our services but amongst various civil agencies. It would be so nice if stretches of many highways are built in a manner where such operations can take place when required, especially for relief and rescue operations if required. This is a fine demonstration of the Indian Air Force's operational preparedness and capability, and the countrymen and our citizens can rest assured that you'll sleep safe with these kind of capabilities of the Indian Air Force. Thank you.
Right, Marshal, also just one more question to you. As you pointed out, this is the skill of the IAF on display, and this is a key step, an integral part of developing really the IAF's operational capabilities by ensuring that, we land some of our biggest might on an expressway. What do you think are the biggest challenges, however, in doubling up these expressways and highways, some of which have already been identified into airstrips for our IAF?
Yeah, but you see, you don't have to develop the entire expressway or highway.
Yes.
Only stretches along these expressways in various places in the country, especially close to our international border and lines of control, where such stretches would come in very, very handy in times of hostilities. And rescue operations, of course.
Okay, all right. Air Marshal Major, thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast and really giving us a sense of why this is so important. Strategically speaking, this is a big accomplishment for the IAF. They've landed some of their biggest aircraft. We're talking also of that Super Hercules transport aircraft that successfully landed on that expressway, the visuals of which we were also playing out earlier. But these are live shots that we're bringing to you from the Lucknow-Agra Expressway, where the 2-hour IAF exercise, the mock drill, is currently underway. A huge crowd has gathered. Of course, the security of the